Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Dallas won the toss, and they will receive, as they did on both counts last week against San Francisco. They ended up fumbling on the third play from scrimmage, and that was a harbinger of things to come. Wayne Harris is waiting for the kick. Glad you're with us today on Fox. You and I could return that one, Aikman, out of the back of the end zone, and so starting at the 20. Tony Romo, the rust. There was rust apparent after limited work in the preseason for Tony, coming off the back surgery at the end of December.
Tough week for Tony Romo, obviously, after that week 1 performance. I think the big thing last week, Joe, was that he just did not see the field very well, and typically that's one of his real strengths.
Home opener for the Titans, and it sounds like it. Nice start. Murray out near the 30. Michael Griffin, who is the free safety there for the tackle after a gain of 9. And the impact players, you saw Murray carry it. You highlight 2 of the 3 good young offensive linemen in the middle, and Des Bryant always gets the attention on the outside.
I think that was one of the real positives taken away from last week's loss, was that they were able to run the football very effectively against one of the better defensive fronts in football.
Now on 2nd and 1, it's Murray again, left side. Where will they spot it? Maybe inches short, back to the line of scrimmage. Sean Phillips is out there, and it will be a first down for Dallas by inches. The defensive players to watch as you look at some of the names, but the transition, Troy, from a 4-3 to a 3-4 under Ray Horton.
Made that transition fairly smoothly. I mean, it's early, but last week, very impressive in that win against Kansas City.
Romo protected. He's got Des Bryant, makes a little move and gets tackled from behind. A gain of 6. And it was Sean Phillips, who last year was with the AFC champion Denver Broncos, back downfield to make the stop.
Well, you think back to last week, Joe, and the job that this offensive line did against San Francisco, running the football. DeMarco Murray averaging over 5 yards a carry in that ball game. They want to continue to try to maintain some balance. They ran the ball in the first 2 plays of this game, picking up the first down there with DeMarco Murray.
Romo pulls the trigger. He's got Bryant, and a juggling catch inside Tennessee territory. First down after a gain of 17, and it's McCourty on the coverage.
And this is going to be a key throughout this season, giving Tony Romo time to throw the football within the pocket, keep him upright. We all know about him coming off the back injury, but this is a well-thrown ball by Romo. Good job by Des Bryant laying out and being able to haul this one in, but he has to lay this throw over the safety, Bernard Pollard, and he does beautifully.
Bryant comes out after the 17-yard catch. And it's a first down at the 46. Here's Murray, well played up front. Tennessee swallows him up. First guy there was Klug. Des Bryant getting checked out on the sideline as they look at the right collarbone shoulder area after the catch.
You see Ronald Leary, the left guard, but Klug beats him right off the line of scrimmage. That's an outstanding job getting pressure in the backfield and stuffing this run. Des Bryant, as you see him come down on that right shoulder, that's what they're checking out over on the sideline.
Loss of 5 on that carry by Murray. Romo steps up, staggers, and throws one short. 3rd and long coming up. Terrence Williams, the intended target.
A lot of discussion last week about Romo's decision making. One of the things that I took from that game, Joe, he's not moving, or at least he did not last week, move the way that I'm accustomed to seeing him move. Even on this play right here, you know, how much that's affected by the back, I don't know, but he was not as mobile and as elusive last week, and it looked to be the same type of thing on that last play.
Devin Street, the rookie, takes over for Des Bryant. They'll get a closer look at the shoulder of Bryant. Extra men on the rush. Romo brought down. Sacked by their young stud, Jarrell Casey.
Jarrell Casey, number 99, is an outstanding football player coming off a great game last week at Kansas City. He beats his man and gets again in Tony Romo's face. And over the years, you just didn't see one guy like that be able to bring Romo down. But this is a special football player, Casey.
First sack of the season for Jarrell in his 4th year out of USC. Jones punts it. McCluster waits for it. And he'll let it go into the end zone. Looked like a promising start to the drive for Dallas. In the end, they lose Des Bryant, at least in the short term. A sack would follow, then a punt. Titans have it first time, no score. 20th career start in the NFL for Jake Locker. Playing out his free agent contract. He's got something to prove. First thing he has to do is stay healthy. And he starts with a completion to Delaney Walker. This guy's got a lot of talent. Put up some big numbers when he played collegiately at Washington. But because he's had that injury-riddled first 3 years, he's got something to prove. And as we said in the open, he's in good hands with first-year head coach Ken Wisenhunt.
Well, I think the first thing he has to prove is that he can stay healthy, Joe. That's been one of the things that has hurt him. 2 years ago, he missed a number of games. He missed more games last year. They've got to keep him on the field, but he likes what they're doing offensively and what Ken Wisenhunt has brought.
He's put a lot in Locker's hands as Sean Green carries it on 2nd down and picks up 5. And what they're doing in the backfield is running back by committee. They ran it for 162 yards last week at Kansas City, Troy, but no back had more than 15 attempts.
No, it's a lot like what they did in San Diego last year when Ken Wisenhunt was the offensive coordinator there. They rotated a number of guys through. Even last week, guys like Dexter McCluster and Leon Washington, who don't typically get many carries at the running back position, they got involved in the action.
First 3rd down of the day, and the pass is incomplete. Wright gets up looking for a flag, won't get it. It was covered by Sterling Moore, and it's 3 and out.
You see they go to the trips of the bunch set. Man coverage. Pretty good thrown ball there by Jake Locker. And last week the Cowboys defensively weren't able to play as much man coverage as they would like because of the running ability of Colin Kaepernick. Now Jake Locker, he's a heck of an athlete, but they'll be able to play a little more man coverage as they did on that 3rd down play to get off the field.
That one nearly blocked. The punt was actually tipped. They threw a flag. They may pick this flag up because one of the Dallas players got his hand on the football. And so now the referee and umpire will get together.
There is no foul for running into the kicker. The ball was tipped. First down.
It was Bruce Carter who got in there, got his hand on it, and the Cowboys, who will have it for the 2nd time. There's the deflection, so no flag. Have good field position. No score. First quarter, Nashville. Second possession for the Cowboys, no score. As they start at their own 31. Get a report on Des Bryant after the play. Play action to the sideline. The pass is caught by Terrence Williams. First down Dallas, and we go down to Aaron Andrews.
Joe, Des Bryant remains in the Cowboys locker room getting that right shoulder worked on. I'm told he's probable to return. Remember, he missed most of the 3rd quarter last week with cramping.
Yeah, dehydrated last week, and now an injury here early on the first possession to his right shoulder. So they look at him. Terrence Williams becomes the biggest threat on the outside for Dallas, and on first down it's Murray. And DeMarco Murray, who had a big start last week, did this last week, puts it on the ground. He fumbled last week against San Francisco, and he fumbles this week against Tennessee.
So that fumble last week really set the tone for things to come in that game against San Francisco. And after an outstanding run, to put it on the ground, you just can't have it.
Tennessee takes over after the fumble by Murray. There is a bad F word that NFL running backs don't want attached to their name, and that's fumbler. Des Bryant comes back onto the field. That's good news for Dallas, but it's back-to-back weeks and now 3 games in a row with a lost fumble for DeMarco Murray dating back to last season. Good starting field position. Pass caught. Delaney Walker, and we'll see a lot of the tight ends today for Tennessee. A pickup of 5. McClain on the tackle, and we go back to the fumble. And it was his teammate that knocked it out.
Yeah, he knocks it loose. It's in his left arm, but that, a hit like that just shouldn't happen. I don't care how good of a back you are. You're never good enough to overcome those kinds of turnovers. But give this defense some credit. Last week they forced 3 takeaways, 3 interceptions against a quarterback, Alex Smith, who only had 7 interceptions all of last year. Very opportunistic.
Here's Sankey, the rookie, and he ran into a wall. Eventually McClain got the tackle. It was Devin Street who knocked it out of the arm of DeMarco Murray. Patoa recovered for the Titans. And defensively, here are the players to watch. The rookie Anthony Hitchens is playing in place of the injured Justin Durant. And Rolando McClain had a good debut last week with 8 tackles for the Dallas Cowboys.
Boy, he really did. He came out, hadn't played in over a year, and played a little more really than they had anticipated, and he will again here today because of the injury to Justin Durant.
On 3rd down and 6, Locker hangs in, pass dropped. It's an incomplete pass, and it's another 3 and out. And you said it last week, Troy, that defense for Dallas, they played much better than you would have thought they would going in. They allowed, at the end of the day, 319 yards as opposed to an average of over 400 a year ago.
Yeah, they weren't great by any means, but I think in terms of what the expectations were, they held up pretty good against a good running football team last week against San Francisco. They certainly were not the reason that they lost that game. They pitched a shutout in the second half. They've gotten off to a good start here in this first quarter.
Tennessee had only 2 3-and-outs last week in Kansas City. They've got 2 and 2 possessions so far today. Harris lets it go over his head and into the end zone. So DeMarco Murray hoping for better things. He's been able to run with open spaces, but again, put it on the ground. For Dallas, turnovers last week led to 21 49ers points. Last week, 3rd play from scrimmage. The fumble by DeMarco Murray, and Chris Culliver took it back the other way, 35 yards for a touchdown. No points off the turnover this time as Devin Street, DeMarco Murray's teammate, knocked it out. Des Bryant back on the field. That's good news for Dallas. 1st down at their own 20. Murray gets it right back. And DeMarco, a ton of room. And out across the 40. A carry of 22 yards for DeMarco Murray for a 1st down for the Dallas Cowboys.
There's just so much movement along this offensive line. You're going to see the hole that DeMarco Murray has. Ron Leary, their left guard, he gets some movement there on Jarrell Casey. And then down the field, Terrence Williams as the wide receiver. He's also blocking, and I really like this Terrence Williams. We saw him make a catch along the sideline in the previous possession, but well, he's not afraid to get into the game and block. Takes great pride in that ability.
Play action, Romo in trouble, sacked again. And it was Patoa who was there to tap him down, a loss of 6. Run blocking's working. The pass blocking is not for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he just has no opportunity whatsoever on this play. Just beat immediately. Doug Free, he's unable to slow Patoa down. Talked about Tony's mobility or lack thereof from what I've seen in previous years. It didn't matter who was playing quarterback on that play. He had no opportunity.
Sacked 3 times last week. Sacked 2 times already today. Delayed handoff to DeMarco Murray. Survives a few hits, crosses the 40, and we go back down to Aaron Andrews.
You guys talked about earlier in the game Tony Romo and the rust that he had during week 1. Well, he said after week 1, his back did bother him quite a bit. He said it was nothing that limited him in practice or made him miss time, but he said, yeah, I felt it. And he also admitted, gosh, you really forget after week 1 how draining that is.
They're down to 9. Crowd comes alive. Blitz. Cowboys pick it up. Witten with a catch. And the Tennesseans got a first down for Dallas. Went around Michael Griffin, picked up 13 yards and a first down. He had only 2 catches week 1.
Well, this is a staple in a defense that Ray Horton runs. They're going to bring the linebackers inside. And you've got to be able to handle that blitz if you're going to have success throwing the football, especially on 3rd down. The Cowboys pick up the blitz. They turn Witten loose, and Witten able to pick up the first down. A guy who wasn't all that involved last week, but throughout the course of the year, clearly he will be.
Here's Murray right side on first down. Well played. That's Klug.
Now we heard Aaron talk about Tony this week and him coming off of that and how his back was going to respond. That was my question when we were doing the game last week, that you know, you're limited in training camp, you're limited in preseason, and then you go out and you play 70 snaps. And having had back issues myself, it gets pretty stiff during the week, and that's something that he's going to have to be able to manage throughout this season. And it's not just the hits, it's just the grind of having to play that position over the course of 3.5 hours.
Out of the backfield, it's Murray trying to make a move. He's going to come up short of the first down as Wilson. Yeah, here's now flag for that shove on the sideline.
It looked from here, Joe, that it was a late hit. The official certainly thought the same.
After the play is over, personal foul, number 31, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
They get Bernard Pollard. George Wilson was over there as well. And instead of 4th down, it's a first down by the personal foul penalty. And it was Pollard who did indeed lay the hit once Murray got. His left foot was still in bounds. I think that's a tough call.
Yeah, I think it's a bad call. I mean, it looked like he was out of bounds from here. I see what the official saw, but in fact, he was still in play. That's a big penalty.
Handoff is to Randall, and Joseph Randall spins forward with a first down and sets up 1st and goal. They're going to say now his knee was down before that spin and the extra yardage, and they set him up with 1st and 10 at the 11.
Well, we'll see what the Cowboys now do with the play calling now that they're inside the 20-yard line. Last week, Joe, they had 12 plays in the red zone and ran the ball just 1 time, and that was when DeMarco Murray was averaging over 5 yards a carry. I would expect them to run the football. They've had success doing that throughout this early part of the game.
Dunbar now in the backfield, gets it on a toss, running right. Well played, well pursued. And out there making the play was Xavier Gooden, who gets the start in place of the injured Zach Brown.
Yeah, and we were talking to Ray Horton about Xavier Gooden, and he said that they had planned coming into the season to let him and Zach Brown get some playing time. Very different style of players. Xavier Brown is regarded as more of the thumper, and Zach Brown, the guy who can really run sideline to sideline. But that was great pursuit by Xavier Brown.
Now 2nd down and 11. Extra men on the rush. Romo sacked again. Jarrell Casey is there again for Tennessee.
Talked about Jarrell Casey a little bit earlier. Romo trying to get the ball to Witten. They throw that shorter route so effectively. They're trying to get one to the post. They have a chance if Romo's able to hold it, but you're not going to get much time with Jarrell Casey. If he's lined up inside, and they will move him around. He's going to create matchup problems for anyone who's trying to block him.
12 men in the huddle on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Now another 5 yards tacked on after a loss of 8 on the third sack by Tennessee. Second by Casey. Extra men in the huddle. And the Dallas Cowboys are going to snap it at the 25. They have to get inside the 1. It's basically 3rd and goal from the 25. The extra guys in the huddle, and it was Walt Coleman who saw it. To make it 3rd and 24. They can get a first down without getting it into the end zone. It's a screen for Harris. Penalty flag on the play. Harris down inside the 10.
This is the second week in a row, Joe. We've seen Dallas move the football effectively and get down in the red zone and self-destruct.
Ineligible downfield prior to the pass. Number 72. Offense. Still third down.
They get Travis Frederick, and that's back-to-back plays with penalties after the sack as the Cowboys continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
Well, here's Travis Frederick, the center, and they're expecting the ball to come out quicker than it did. They're going to hold their ground for just a count or two and then get up the field, and Romo held it a little longer than what they were anticipating, and he was downfield.
They had a first down at the 11. They have a third down at the 30. Blitz. Romo trying to buy time. Throws it away. And now a 48-yard field goal try forthcoming from the right foot of Dan Bailey.
Well, the Titans, they bring the corner blitz. Jason McCourty off of Dez Bryant, and now you're asking a safety, Michael Griffin, to come over and cover him. Romo sees it, and it's unlikely you're going to pick up that first down, but if you get it in Dez's hands right away and you give him a one-on-one against a safety, I like those odds. A little surprised Romo didn't give it to him.
48-yard try. Bailey 1 for 1 last week. He's one of the NFL's best. And he strokes it through. Frustration on the part of the Cowboys after that drive stalls at the 11. They went backward. Bryant frustrated. A 3-0 Cowboy lead. 3-0 lead for Dallas. Now Tennessee about to get it for the 3rd time. There's the scoring drive for the Cowboys. Tennessee led the NFL in time of possession week 1. And as the first quarter is about to expire, Tennessee's had it for less than 3 minutes. 2 minutes 52 seconds, and this 3rd drive will start at the 20. Let's go for a game break. Big news. Here's Joel Klatt.
Yeah, Joe, let's go to Washington. RG3 rolling to his right. He would go down awkwardly on the sidelines on the completion. Kirk Cousins enters the game on his first attempt. He's going to find Darrell Young for the 20-yard touchdown. 7-0 Washington. RG3 carted to the locker room in an air cast, Joe. Developments from Washington.
Yeah, and the most recent development is a touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins.
I like Kirk Cousins, and I know they like him in Washington, too.
We'll watch the Redskins next week in Philadelphia. Here's Sean Green. Good for 6. Cowboys have their first lead of this young season, and they will have it after 1 quarter here in Nashville. Back and forth we've gone. 3 points on the board. They belong to Dallas. Back after